Today, I'm going to give you 6 not so common supplements that can be used during your perimenopause journey. But besides the supplements, we're also going to talk about the best diet, the best exercise, and the best ways that you can reduce stress during this time. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Wellness with Ashti. Today we're going to be talking about perimenopause. We'll talk about the symptoms, how to manage them, and how it doesn't have to be this really bad experience. We'll discuss diet, lifestyle changes, stress reduction, exercise, and the role of supplements. So let's get into it. So firstly, let's demystify perimenopause. What is it exactly? So think of perimenopause as this time before your menopause actually kicks in. It can start between 5 to 8 years before menopause. So for some people, it can start in their 40s, and for others, it can start even as early as late 30s. So at this time, your hormones start to fluctuate, your estrogen levels and your progesterone are all over the place. And this is why you can experience a lot of these symptoms. But I'm not saying that every woman will face these symptoms, but at least 40% of women do face perimenopause symptoms. So let's talk about some of the symptoms that most of us women might face. So I think one of the most common symptoms is hot flashes. Maybe our mothers or aunts have experienced this, and it's a very common symptom of perimenopause. But besides hot flashes, there are a lot of other symptoms as well. You could have severe mood swings. One minute you're laughing and the next minute you're in tears and you have no idea why. The next is sleep issues. This is also very common. Suddenly you just can't get a good night's sleep in, and this can be really, really frustrating. Then there's something called brain fog. Brain fog basically means, like, say you walk into a room and you've suddenly forgotten why you're even there. This is another common symptom. And of course, the sudden weight gain. You suddenly notice that your midsection is increasing and you have a lot more fat around your abdomen area. And this can happen even if you have no changes in your diet. So all of this can sound really overwhelming, but I just want every woman on here to know that it doesn't have to be this bad. There are actually a lot of things in our control and a lot of things that we can do to actually reduce or even eliminate the symptoms. And if you're watching this and say you're in your 20s or your early 30s, then if you actually start incorporating all these tips, you might even notice that you never experience any perimenopause symptoms. So let's talk about what is in our control. I think the most important thing that we have in our control is our diet and our lifestyle. I know you've probably heard it a million times, but it's one of the most fundamental things when it comes to our health. I think a lot of us just succumb to this idea of genes and use it as an excuse. Like, oh, my parents had diabetes and so I'm definitely going to get it. Or my mother had really bad perimenopause symptoms, so I'm definitely going to have it too. But I want everyone to know that this is not true, because the truth is that genetics only play 20% of a role in whether we are going to experience certain symptoms or not. The rest of it, the 80%, is in our control, which is why I keep harping about diet and lifestyle, because honestly, your health is in your hands. And the thing is, this can either scare you because you feel like you don't want to take responsibility, or it can empower you because you know that your health is in your hands. The choice is basically yours. So when it comes to nutrition, what we put into our bodies can make a huge difference. 3 foods that you can incorporate in your diet which will really help with your menopause symptoms. The first is fresh fruits and vegetables. We all know that these are really good for us, but especially during perimenopause, I would advise you to double down on them because they're full of nutrients and fiber, and at this time your body really needs that support. The second is nuts and seeds. Think about incorporating flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. All of these are really beneficial for our hormones. I see a lot of people eating nuts, but I don't see too many incorporating seeds. So here's your reminder to start incorporating seeds into your diet every single day. Flax seeds, for example, have something called lignans, which basically help regulate your estrogen levels and can even reduce your symptoms of hot flashes and mood swings. So just 1 or 2 tablespoons of flax seeds every day in your smoothie is a great start. The third food group is soy. I have another video where I talk about the benefits of soy, especially when it comes to things like breast cancer and reducing your risk of certain diseases. So watch that if you haven't yet. But when it comes to perimenopause, Soy basically has something called isoflavones, and isoflavones are really good at reducing your menopause and perimenopause symptoms. And when I talk about soy, I obviously mean minimally processed soy products like tofu, tempeh, and soy milk. Soy chop, soy chunks, and TVP are more processed, and I wouldn't really recommend those options. So with soy, 2 servings a day is a great start. And this could look like maybe half a cup of soy milk in your smoothie and maybe 100 grams of tofu for lunch or dinner. So try and incorporate these every day. So the next lifestyle change we're going to talk about is exercise. Now, exercise is non-negotiable. Your body needs some kind of movement every single day. It can be a 30-minute walk outside in nature or on a treadmill or a dance class, going to the gym, anything. Just move your body every single day. If you don't like working out alone, maybe start daily walks with your friends so you can catch up and also get some movement in. Maybe sign up for a group yoga class or a group dance class. The idea is to find joy in movement, and it shouldn't feel tedious. So think of ways that you would like to move your body and start incorporating those every single day. When we exercise, our body basically releases endorphins, and you'll suddenly feel like you're in a better mood, you have more energy, and it can even improve your sleep. So yeah, don't take this lightly. Please make some time to move your body. I know this can be easier said than done. A lot of you are busy moms, you have kids, you're running from the office to school, and I know it can be hard, but making yourself a priority is only going to make you a better mom or a better wife. Because when you take care of yourself, you're able to give that much more. So just remember that. So the next 2 things we're going to talk about is sleep and stress before we get into supplements. Now, sleep is something that is really underrated. And when it comes to sleep, I think a few simple practices can go a long way. So having a simple bedtime routine can really be beneficial. And here are some things I suggest. The first is no social media 1 hour before bedtime. Now, this is quite hard for me too, but the constant scrolling on social media really keeps our brains constantly activated, and then it becomes so much harder to fall asleep. The second thing is make sure your room is a cool and dark place. You don't want any lights on, and you want to make the temperature comfortable so you can sleep throughout the night. The third practice that really helps as your bedtime routine is reading a book before sleeping. So maybe like 30 minutes before you go to sleep, you start reading a book, and this can really help you slow down. And I've noticed just 20 to 25 minutes reading a book, I suddenly start feeling really sleepy, and it really helps me just wind down. So when it comes to stress reduction, perimenopause is a time you'll notice that your stress levels are through the roof. And this is obviously because your hormones are all over the place. Maybe you haven't slept well for a week, and all of this leads to excess stress in the body. So a few ways you can manage your stress is number one, meditation. I have so much to say on meditation, and maybe I'll do a separate video on it. But honestly, just a simple 10-minute guided meditation, even if you find one on YouTube, can really do wonders for you. For some people, meditation might seem like this really scary thought, because you might think that meditation means that you shouldn't have any thoughts. But that's not true. Your mind will constantly have thoughts even during meditation. The only purpose of meditation is to slow down those thoughts so they don't bother you anymore. You can also try things like deep breathing, journaling, or even venting to a friend over a cup of coffee. The idea is basically give yourself permission to slow down, because sometimes that's the best thing you can do to show up better in life. Okay, so finally, let's talk about supplements. When it comes to supplements, I want people to understand that supplements are just supplements. They're not meant to replace your diet. They're also not a magic pill that will suddenly fix everything overnight. So the idea is you try to get your nutrition as much as possible from whole foods, and then supplement if necessary, because there are 2 main issues with supplements. The first is quality. The issue is that the supplement industry is highly unregulated, which means anyone can come up with supplements and make crazy claims that they're going to do wonders for you, but there's no proof that they actually work. So what this means is basically you have to take the time to find supplements that are good quality, that have been third party tested, to make sure that you're getting exactly what you're paying for. Otherwise, you're just wasting your money. The second issue with supplements is you need to understand your own body and what it needs. Just because everyone is taking a multivitamin doesn't mean you need a multivitamin. You might actually be getting in all the nutrients that you need, and taking in more supplements can actually be harmful for you. So what I recommend is always get tested before you start taking any supplements. Say you want to take a vitamin D supplement because everyone you know is on this supplement. But if you don't test yourself, then you might land up with other issues, because high doses of vitamin D can lead to issues like kidney problems. So that's my advice. But anyways, let's talk about some supplements that can be helpful during your perimenopause time. And before you take them, please consult with a nutritionist or a doctor to make sure that they're right for you. So during our cycle, we have 4 phases. The first phase is the follicular phase. This is the week or 10 days after your period ends. During this time, your energy levels are starting to rise, your estrogen levels are starting to rise. So you're going to feel more energetic and optimistic at this time. So at this stage, it's a good idea to support your body with blood sugar balance, because this will help reduce the stress on your system. So when our blood sugar levels are stable, we tend to have more consistent moods and better energy levels. So one supplement that can be really helpful at this time is coenzyme 10. Now CoQ10 is basically a substance that your body naturally produces, but as we get older, those levels can decrease. So CoQ10 basically helps with energy production at the cellular level. It also helps with heart health. So it's a good idea maybe to start incorporating that. The second phase is the ovulation phase. This is when your hormones are peaking, and this is actually at the middle of your cycle. At this time, you might feel a lot more anxious and like there's a lot of chaos in your life, because there's a lot of hormones just being flooded in your body. So at this time, it's a good idea to support your liver. Now, your liver is basically responsible for getting rid of the excess hormones like estrogen. So basically, when your estrogen levels are too high, it can lead to symptoms like breast tenderness, mood swings, and even bloating. So a supplement called DIM can be really helpful at this time. Now, DIM is basically a natural compound which is found in cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, kale, and cauliflower. What it does is that it basically helps your body metabolize estrogen more efficiently so that your hormones are better balanced. So DIM can basically help you reduce your feelings of anxiety or chaos during this ovulation phase. It's basically like giving your liver a helping hand so it can run smoothly. Now moving on to the third phase, which is the luteal phase. This phase happens after your ovulation and before your period starts. This is when you might feel like you're very moody and irritated, and this is typically those PMS symptoms that people refer to. You might notice that you're craving carbs all the time, or like salty fried foods. Some people might crave sugary stuff all the time. So during this time, it's a good idea to help your body regulate its blood sugar, because again, when blood sugar levels fluctuate, it can really affect our mood and our energy levels. So supplements like chromium and cinnamon extract can really be helpful at this time. Chromium is basically a mineral and helps your body regulate insulin. And insulin is crucial for helping your blood sugar remain stable. So by improving your insulin sensitivity, chromium can help you reduce your mood swings and your irritation. Cinnamon extract has also shown to help stabilize blood sugar levels. So basically, if you keep your blood sugar levels steady, you might notice that you have fewer mood swings and you're not as hangry or irritated all the time. Now let's move on to the fourth phase, which is the menstrual phase. This is when your body is shedding the uterine lining, and it's a time for rest and recovery. You might feel more tired, and that's totally normal. You're also losing a lot of nutrients at this time, so it's important to nourish your body. So the two supplements that can be beneficial at this time are quercetin and nettle leaf. So quercetin is basically a powerful antioxidant, and it's found in many fruits and vegetables. It basically helps reduce inflammation, and it can support your immune system. So basically, by lowering inflammation, it can help reduce your cramps and any other discomfort that you're feeling during this time. The second supplement I mentioned is nettle leaf. Now this is basically a nutrient powerhouse. It's rich in magnesium, iron, and calcium. And all of these essential nutrients get depleted during the time of menstruation. So nettle leaf can really replenish those nutrients and is also anti-inflammatory, which is exactly what your body needs at that time. But always remember that it's important to take the time to rest and recover during your menstrual phase. So throughout all these phases, there are also two all-star supplements that can be beneficial all the time. The first one is magnesium glycinate. Many people are deficient in magnesium and don't even realize it. And magnesium glycinate is the form of magnesium that is particularly good for relaxation and sleep. So if you find yourself feeling stressed or having trouble sleeping, then magnesium glycinate might be a good option for you to consider. The second is omega-3 fatty acids. Now, a lot of people assume that omega-3 fatty acids only come from fish, but in actuality, it comes from algae or algae, as some people call it. So, a good vegan algae supplement can help reduce inflammation, it can help with brain health, and it can even help balance your hormones. An omega-3 supplement can also reduce your symptoms of anxiety and depression. But like I mentioned earlier, always remember that supplements are only one piece of the puzzle. Before you start supplementing, it's always important to address any underlying issues that may prevent your body from absorbing these nutrients. For example, if you have leaky gut or any gut issues, or if your liver isn't detoxifying, then you might not even get the full benefits of the supplements that you're taking. Think of it like pouring water into a leaky bucket. It doesn't matter how much you pour in, it's not going to stay in the bucket. It's a good idea to fix that hole in the bucket first. And remember that it's a good idea to work with a healthcare professional or a nutritionist so you can figure out exactly what are the nutrients that are missing out in your diet and lifestyle, and only then supplement. So just remember, perimenopause doesn't have to be the scary thing that all of us are dreading. Remember, your body is doing a lot of work at this time. You just need to treat it kindly, give it the rest it needs, and don't hesitate to reach out for help when you need it. So before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought. Treat your body like you're taking care of a child. Be patient, and most importantly, listen to what your body is telling you. It's working really hard to keep going, so give it the support that it needs. And if you're feeling really overwhelmed with perimenopause symptoms, just remember there are a lot of things that you can do, like we spoke about. There's diet, there's exercise, stress management, and finally the supplements that we spoke about. You already have all the tools at your disposal. Now it's just about making the changes. So thank you for watching another episode. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I hope this has been an empowering one, because I want every woman out there to not dread perimenopause and menopause, because it's just a normal phenomenon. We all have to go through it. It's just about how we deal with it. And if you would like to share any tips that have helped you during your perimenopause or menopause, please let us know in the comments. It would be really nice to start this conversation, because I feel like not many of us talk about this topic, and I think that having each other and a support system can really help. So see you in the next episode.